I'm such a failure in life. I always felt I'm just a loser. I was suicidal at some point in my life, and I'm gonna be sharing that in future videos on this channel. And you click at this video, maybe you feel like a loser, maybe you feel like a failure like me, or you are just a nosy person also like me, that you just wanna judge people on the internet. Either way, please let me know in the comments like which one you are. So to explain exactly why I feel like I'm a failure, I can divide it into like 3 chapters. The first chapter is failure at university, whether as a student or while working at university. I spent like 14 years at university between studies and working at university. I'm a PhD holder, but I'm still like a loser. PhD doesn't mean anything to me. Why some people maybe think it's a big achievement or something, but for me, it just probably the only benefit of it, just like kind of to have that title, just to give it to your parents or something. That's just my opinion. But there is other people who have success in it, so I'm not judging other people. I'm talking about my case. So to start, like why I feel like a failure as a whole at university, when I started from high school, I always had a dream to be like a medical doctor. I tried like for 3 times, 3 years, and I've been trying to get into medical school. Even when I was like 3 years at university, I still kept taking the exams, trying to get into medical school. So if I just actually succeeded into getting into medical school, I was willing actually to give up 3 years while at university and switch directly to medical school, to that point. And at the time I felt like this is my passion, this is something like I can do like as a career, or like kind of something I would like. And I think one of the reasons that I wanted to go into medical school, probably my parents. I remember at the time my mom always saying like kind of, oh, one of my sons gonna be doctor, when I'm gonna be. And I felt at that time like maybe the influence coming from my parents. Maybe you have the same story like me, like a lot of time like this kind of dreams or this kind of passion we get when at younger stage of our lives, it definitely coming from our parents' influence or from the environment that we have. I remember a lot of my friends wanted also to go into medical school. Maybe at that time, like, you know, it's kind of sounds like an interesting career, and also like have high salaries probably everywhere, not just in my country like Algeria, but we don't have much jobs compared like to doctors, where they have kind of a little bit status, probably in every country, you know. So I tried for 3 years at university and I never succeeded to get into it. And at that time, like I wanted kind of to switch to a career a little bit similar, even if after I basically after I failed to get into it. And I wanted to join like kind of biomedical engineer, something like around radiotherapy, something around like nuclear imaging engineer, kind of something still related, kind of you wearing like white clothes and being an imposter doctor in a hospital, you know. And I failed too, because at the time, like, you know, the university, they closed that field, so I had no option. So I had only one choice, which is becoming a nuclear engineer. Literally they push us all into one field. What I mean, I had no choice. We were in different systems. It's like, I think similar to a Russian system. It's like you become an engineer, magister, and then you go into a doctor degree. It's quite different than the current system we changed, like which is like bachelor, master, and doctor. So we were the last batch of that old system, and they push us all into one field. I had zero choice, just nuclear engineer. And I remember at that time, like one of my friends like told me like, okay, this is not so bad. Like, you know, we can just like use our like I almost said credit card, like a student card, just to flash it to girls, to get some girls. Like, hey girl, like, yeah, I'm a nuclear engineer or something like. This was just losers. We got nothing basically. So I failed basically at university. Like I never been kind of passionate about what I'm gonna be doing, and I graduated as nuclear engineer, and somehow on my last year, even I hated completely university. I kind of like it the environment. Maybe I have a lot of friends at that time, and I wanted to continue like studying. So I jumped into to get like a doctor degree, first magister and then like doctor degree. And luckily, I was just lucky basically. I got scholarship to Japan. Basically somebody we had a list, like the Japanese government, we were like in a project, and they had a list, like I was the second and the first person didn't want to come to Japan, so I basically came. I was not smart or something. And the other failure also I had at university while doing my PhD. Initially, like a PhD program in Japan is around 3 years, and for me, I spent like 4 years, so I couldn't graduate in time. Like, but that's not so bad failure. I mean, like, because PhD programs in US or in Europe or everywhere is almost like 5-6 years. So for me, 4 years is all right. I mean, kind of sweet failure, but I never enjoyed it. I never felt like it was my passion. I basically just accepted it because it's scholarship. I just want to escape Algeria, you know, like, don't blame me. So that's why I feel like a failure, and that's already summarized like 11 years just to get a PhD. And then I worked like 3 years at university, like as a researcher, postdoc researcher. I never felt like I belonged there. It was cool, even if it's a nice environment, but salary was kind of just all right. It's kind of pretty terrible salary here as a PhD if you work in Japan here as a postdoc or something, like compared to the States. And beside the salary thing, like I never had passion for it. Maybe because I just choose something because of its scholarship, or I had kind of basically no options. You know, I just took it. So it's all right. I mean, sometimes in life you have to accept kind of your fate. even like after all these years, I just gave up completely and I switched my career completely to marketing and business, which I like it a little bit better. Social media. Hopefully I don't fail in YouTube as well. If you're still watching, please subscribe. And that's kind of summarized my failure at university. Like maybe you have same story sometimes, like you end up in a career or you study some field and then you just like basically you don't even use it in real life in your career. If you have such story, please share it in the comments. The second failure I felt at work basically, and in Japan here, if you don't speak the language, it's pretty hard to get jobs. I applied for every job. I remember back in 2016 I applied literally for every kind of jobs. English teaching jobs, whatever jobs. I could even go to construction. I don't care. I worked before in construction when I was in high school. I worked as a farmer. I don't care much. I'm the type person, I'm not that much picky. Like whatever, do it, that's the spirit. But it was overall like a failure. I worked in a company in Japan here, and it was pretty horrible experience. I'm gonna be sharing it in the future. Currently I'm working with a company, like everything is fine. Like I enjoy basically working, and I also like have some kind of a small business. I own e-commerce, but overall I feel like I still feel like a loser, like a failure, like because I never found that kind of complete passion, like complete something that I really enjoy doing. Like I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy talking this one. Hopefully I don't fail, but I just always have questions, like just to, what I like, what's my passion, who am I, or what kind of my purpose in life. And one of the reasons I started this channel, I want to discuss this kind of, I want to find myself, I want to find my purpose. And basically, if I help some other person in future after I die, and they watch this kind of videos and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's not just me. Maybe please share in the comments if you feel the same, like you are such a failure or you're such a loser. Even if you achieve something, it's not just about achieving. As you can see, like I got a PhD, I still feel like a loser. To some people maybe, oh, that's a big achievement or some big title. For me is nothing, literally nothing. And I'm not trying to be humble here. And the third chapter, I feel like I failed as a totally in life. I'm 36 years old. I'm not married, and I'm still kind of feel like lost. And I remember one part of my life, like 3 years ago, I lost my brother, and at that time I had less communication with him because I was just getting busy or pretending to be busy or running after life or trying kind of, in business, in career. And I felt at that time like I didn't do enough for my family or for my brother at that time. Now I'm trying to change it, but overall I still kind of lack that kind of sense of understanding what I'm gonna do in my life. And hopefully in future, if I get probably 100,000 subscribers or 1 million, and you remember this video, probably my life changed. Well, hopefully I change other people's lives. It's interesting. I'm excited kind of to share more videos about my story and how to turn like this kind of situation, of feeling like a loser, to something more successful. Hopefully you like my videos. Please subscribe and see you in the next video.